versus MIBR. This is the third and final map in our best of three grand final. Team Liquid just took coastline there. MIBR previously, they were the victors over in Oregon. And here we are. The final map of Consulate. Thatcher and Jackal first removed. Valkyrie long gone as well. So not quite seeing the target bans that Liquid have been kicking out all evening. Although I suppose maybe a bit of a target ban toward Reduct on the Jackal, Gio?
Maybe, but my assumption would be more that it's a generalized idea that on Consulate, it's any kind of flank watch quite important, and I suspect Team Liquid probably want to use Nomad for themselves. That's why they haven't banned her out. So I don't think it's a target ban so much as it probably is just a Consulate ban. Could be wrong. I'll have to ask him.
Get him on the phone right now.
Yeah. Now,
pause the finals.
Yeah, hold up, everybody. We need to ask about this ban. Now, we've already seen Consulate today, how it was between MIBR and Ninjas in Pajamas. And it was a map in which a lot happened. And we came to the conclusion that NIP probably shouldn't keep going there. MIBR looked very, very strong on it, and they were very good at holding control in places that NIP simply didn't look sufficiently coordinated to try and take. A number of their upstairs attacks simply weren't good enough because of MIBR's positioning not being punished, and even, you know, we mentioned it earlier on and really delved into it, but the way that Raps held on to the public bathroom on a lobby defense, also very, very good playing from MIBR, because he basically juggled the players of NIP that were aggressing onto him in a way that he really had no right to get away with. So Team Liquid know that they're going to have quite a game on their hands, but they have just watched MIBR play on this map today. They have immediate evidence of what to expect of sorts. Question is, are they going to be able to overcome the way that MIBR like to play and overcome their prowess? Are they going to fall to it? Because this is the map that's going to decide who wins the Copa Elite Six.
It's a lot of pressure really for Liquid to know that MIBR have already played and won this map today, because that then leads into its own sort of set of complex questions, and already we're seeing MIBR play this kind of differently to the way that we saw them play earlier on this afternoon. Instead of the public bathroom there being quite open, this time it's quite reinforced. It's played in the typical Mute way, where you've got Mute playing inside of that public bathroom, Mute jammers there to soak up drones, a shield and some ADSs, everything really to allow the Mute to play there for as long as possible. And Reduct's going to try and do just exactly that. Top floor presence here from both Lucid and Raps. So they're going to be playing just near Soda Machine and on the entrance into meeting from those service stairs. He's got Lucid, sorry, has got angles in through into connector. And it's all just giving Team Liquid something to think about.
Because of how you ideally want to be attacking onto this site, you know, opening up the garage wall, having a breach into there, taking control of Piano, which is what Moringa's looking to do right now, it's really key that you don't... Oh, he could just use that for his own vision, I guess. It's really key that you don't get flanked around on, which is why those upstairs roamers are going to be very important for Team Liquid. If they're to ignore them, it could end up coming to punish them. They still haven't even really pressured Reduct present here in the bathroom. Moringa's mostly ignoring him, and maybe now... Oh, okay. I was going to say maybe now he'll turn his attentions in, but instead he just shoots the default cam standing right in front of the doorway into bathroom, and that's about it.
How is Moringa playing so fearlessly here?
He doesn't
It's
care.
like he doesn't give any care to the fact that Reduct's in the bathroom, and Reduct's like, is this guy for real? Like, I am here, you know, look at me, I'm going to swing and I'm going to take you out. He's going to find another over onto Nesk, potentially a third, but no, does get taken out there by Paolu, but it will now only be Paolu alive in the 1 versus 4. A flood on into sight, Reduct being ignored and allowed to rotate out of the bathroom, was going to be the undoing there of Liquid. Lukid comes in with the final frag. Decisive round for MIBR on the defense here.
Listen, I commend Team Liquid's, fervor in how confidently they simply wanted to take piano. And the fact that Moringa, he was all about smashing open the floor, didn't really care about anything else. He let the C4 sail over him and then used that as part of his job that he was doing. However, it did end up trailing into the issue that I spoke about before, which was if you're going to ignore those off-site players, be that the players upstairs that are roaming for MIBR or Reduct in the bathroom, you're probably going to end up getting flanked and punished. And it was Lukid who jumped down through the hatch at the end that ensured that MIBR got the win. So it was a, brave display from Team Liquid, but maybe don't entirely ignore an off-site play, especially when you're trying to attack onto Garage.
Sounds like good advice.
Thanks, I'm great at giving advice.
That's exactly what you're here for. It's the unheard advice, Gio, which the teams that watch the VOD back on mute, unfortunately, will never hear. I kind of like this Amaru picked by Sexy Cake. It scares me, but it excites me in equal measure. Do you think he's just going to sail on in?
Well, I mean, I'd hope so. That's kind of the point of Amaru, right? But my first thought was, okay, so they had this just like, screw it, we're going for it approach in that last round and just total bravery. Now they're going for the screw it Amaru round. My first thought was, yeah, well, I get it. It's nearly 2 a.m. But it isn't in Brazil. It's like 10 p.m. there, Brazilian time. So it's not quite late enough for them to be doing the sleep-deprived type ideas. I do like the idea of Sexy Cake just yeeting himself into CEO, though, but it is going to require some setup from Team Liquid. You can't simply just do it while, for example, Meeting is still occupied by defenders. That was something that Kamikaze tried, not on Amaru, admittedly, he was playing Thermite at the time. But Kamikaze did try to just swing into CEO to make a plant without NIP actually clearing out Meeting at all, having any pressure on that side of the site. And guess what? They didn't win that round. They got totally punished for it. So Team Liquid do need to be aware of that before they send Sexy Cake in.
Nesk has been allowed to just repel into yellow. It's usually a very hotly contested area. MIBR have arguably given it away for free and bathroom. How are you going to get chunked down? Sexy Cake has made the Amaru play on in. He could also choose to drop down the hatch if he wishes. He's going to need to try and deal with that Evil Eye from Falz before he gets the plant down, though, because he's taken a chunk load of damage. The Evil Eye has now been dealt with, but Falz still has the information that he was able to gather. Sexy Cake going to continue to try and get this diffuser down, but he's now worried about the vertical. The element of surprise that the Amaru gives you is now arguably gone. A C4 going to swing on up. Sexy Cake does manage to find some solace in the corner and keep himself out of that blast radius. There's a minute left on the clock, so plenty of time. A kill's going to trade in either direction. Nothing immediately to deny this plant, aside from Luki just shooting from below, and it's not going to be enough. Plant will be confirmed here. Paolo going to get himself outside onto the rappel. Do a good job of watching that from the exterior. PSK does take down Redux there. Raps falls. Everybody's swinging just one at a time. Paolo and PSK, the last two attackers left alive. Lukid and Fowls trying to get this disable off. Fowls is going to try and stick it. I don't think that PSK can find the angle there. Oh, Palu comes up with the huge kill there just as the disable was nearly complete. Well, poor old Lukid, not much of an option. A difficult position to try and get a disable onto, as the post plant was just a bit too strong there from Liquid.
The fault really lies with MIBR in that round for the fact that they didn't invest anything into a yellow stairs defense. The reason why you open up the bottom of the cubby walls when you're defending CEO, and actually This is great for people in rank because you always come across people in rank who want to reinforce those walls because they feel like they need to protect themselves from, I don't know, angles that could come in through the yellow window or through skylight. You should always leave those walls soft and shoot out the bottom of them. And the reason is because it's good for a post plant. If you're a defender and an attacker has planted in CEO, you can hold on to, or rather, well, yeah, you can shoot in through those holes and kill the person who is in there. Or if you're a defender, sorry, an attacker, and you want to be protecting a plant that's already been done, you can hold yellow stairs and you can hold an angle in through there. Either way, the point is it's very useful for post-plant situations. In that case, it went over to the attackers because it was Palu who was holding onto yellow stairs and had access to those holes for himself. That meant that there was really no easy way for MIBR to gain control in that post plant. And you could see even the way that Palu did the rotate down the yellow stairs and then back up them to ensure that he still had control there and that he would have the advantage were a 1v1 to occur. PSK rotated up to the skylight so he could provide in a vertical angle onto the same wall, and Liquid killed Lucid, the defender who was trying to disable the diffuser. MIBR, next time they go to CEO, I would really like to see them actually hold on to yellow stairs, even somewhat. They don't have to have a full-on, entirely dedicated yellow stairs hold, but at the very least, don't make it that easy for the attackers to take it.
Look at Team Liquid here. They're doing what they do best, and that is focus on getting that plant down. Now, Sexcake has fallen as Lucid has come up huge with 2 massive frags. He's managed to take down Palu and Sexy Cake. The kills are all coming up here for MIBR. Nesk, sole survivor inside of Visas, will find himself an exit frag. Reduct is there with the trade. A quick fire attempt from Team Liquid to get a cheap round on the board. They just couldn't cover themselves. They needed that vertical control.
Yeah, sorry, I blinked and I didn't see the round.
It's fine. Vertical control wasn't gained by Team Liquid, and it is the most important thing when you are trying to attack onto Preston Lobby as a site, especially if you're going to try and plant anywhere near the circle desk or the double door. That is exactly what you need to hold, and the vertical control was firmly in the hands of MIBR. We've seen those sort of rounds from Liquid throughout the course of this playday, really, where they just go, you know what, let's try a rush round. And have we seen one work yet, Gio?
I don't think so. Could be wrong. Your chat might be like, yeah, there was that one round. But I can't remember it happening. I find it funny, you know, how you were like, you know, it's because they failed to get the vertical control, as if they tried. They just sent Sexy Cake in at the earliest opportunity, right? But yeah, that was entirely it. MIBR had a really good vertical hold, actually, that punished Team Liquid entirely. Even if Team Liquid had been able to fight back somewhat, recovering the diffuser and actually finding another place to plant would have been really difficult for them. They were relying on Sexy Cake to successfully make that plant. And he didn't. So back down into the basement, I wonder if, you know, Moringa is going to play quite as ballsy as he did before. Straight up, MIBR are making big changes to the way that their defense is being approached. Beforehand, you had a Mute. He was being placed upstairs, while Mute isn't even on the board at the moment. You've got a couple of 3 armors. You can use those Evil Eyes for the extra information. Still having a lot of players present upstairs, and Raps is just rotating up to open up the hatch so they have easy ways to drop down should they need to abandon their stations up on the top floor.
An admin push looks to be the order of the day here from Liquid. Nest going to find some early success over onto Lucid. Felipox on the roaming flash. C4's going to actually get shot out mid-air as from the skylights, the kill will come onto Felipox. Well, sorry, the down will come onto Felipox, but the kill actually falls onto Sexy Cake. He is taken down on the reverse vertical there. It's such a difficult angle to challenge onto. Now, Nesk could have aggressed a bit further down those yellow stairs and actually confirmed the kill onto Felipox. It will be Palu to do so, maybe even from the yellow door. His foul's recognized and he got lucky enough taking Sexy Cake out of the game. He doesn't want to push that luck any further.
MIBR at the man disadvantage, and having lost the clash means a big part of their strategy has been removed and how they were trying to deny a push in from Team Liquid, but it doesn't mean that all hope is lost. In fact, Falz is still pushed up fairly aggressively, waiting for someone to come in from yellow stairs. Team Liquid don't have any way of de-electrifying the wall unless they really do it vertically, and there's that first example of some vertical destruction from above, Falz failing to get the kill through the ceiling slats.
I mean, you can't give Falz too much of a hard time for that. It was a passing opportunity.
Oh, not at all. It was a neutral comment.
It was a neutral comment. He was able to get some damage down. Raps in a bit of a Harry Potter spot here. He's got an option to now rotate over into Archives as well. Redux is able to take down Nesk. Not before Nesk takes down Raps. Leaves us in a 3 versus 2. The diffuser has been recovered by PSK, but the garage wall is still entirely hard. Of course, losing Sexy Cake so early on was such a big blow, but it isn't going to matter. The kills just come through. Team Liquid make it stick. A yellow stairs push was all it took. A couple of snappy trades there. Bit of a misplay, you've got to say, from the side of MIBR when they take out Sexy Cake so early, and that is the entire hard breach gone. For Liquid to still come out and win that round with garage wall intact, it's a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, as an attacker, you should not be winning that round. And the heartbreaking thing as well is that if Falz had known that there was a second guy there, he actually probably could have achieved that last kill and beaten Team Liquid, but he wasn't expecting it. You could tell that he was really taken by surprise, had a slightly late reaction to the second player springing out from the bottom of the yellow stairs there. And, oh, we've seen this before, Ollie, but we're evened out. The scoreline is evened out. It's a 2-2. As we head into the next site, the first time that we'll be seeing Pala's Archives, or the split site, as you like to say, because it is across 2 different floors.
Bomb located.
First time that we're seeing it be played in this map.
Home straight for both of these teams now. I know it may not feel like it, but sooner or later we are going to come to a conclusion here. And they can go 3-2, 3-3, 4-3, 4-4, all they like. But at the end of the day, there are only so many rounds available. This is the final map. We must crown a winner here on Consulate. That puts even more pressure onto every round now. You can basically forget anything that has happened in the run-up to this map in itself, because this is all that matters now moving in. So a rush round here on this map, yes, that now does matter. We've seen that be brought out by Liquid. We saw it a couple of rounds ago when they attempted press and lobby. Now, MIBR are doing the classic MIBR where they like to mix up the site choice partway through their rotation. Last time they took us to press and lobby. This time they are now going to take us instead to the split site. Gives Liquid something else to think about. If I look back and think of times where Liquid has attacked onto this site historically, once again, in true Liquid fashion, it's very plant-focused. Often, Sexy Cake will get himself in through visas and just try and get a plant up on one of the tables. One of the little hop-up spots that's very difficult to get a C4 onto.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Not going to be able to move too fast, but a nice opening kill from Palu onto Felipox frees up that spiral stairs area. That's also one of the C4s that is down on the team. PSK is the next one to fall, however, as Lukid gets his own back. on Team Liquid. Nesk too. That's a very valuable kill.
Liquid comes out with 2 massive frags there. Moringa trades out there over onto Fowls, though. Everybody takes a moment. Palu maybe going to open up that double door and have a line of sight in past the circle desk. Moringa has access to the site here. Gathering intel. He doesn't know that somebody's going to be inside of there. Redux wins out the engagement, at least for now, putting Moringa down. Palu has to come in big here. Sexy Cake has taken down Redux with Moringa still alive. Potential here for Moringa to be revived. We are going to see some aggression from Luke. It is not going to pay dividends, though. Sexy Cake going to get himself onto his trademark little spot. Palu coming up with the last 2 kills there. A big round from Liquid, all pulling in the same direction.
Palu in the perfect position just to get those 2 kills. Really nice way to end out the round. Now, yeah, you were saying about how Team Liquid stylistically really like to prioritize getting Sexy Cake into that position and usually have quite fast takes historically on most sites. But on Teller's Archives here, it's something that we've seen before in the BR6. That wasn't the case in this round. It took them way more time to even get there. And at that point, they didn't even plant. It wasn't something they ended up doing. There was more bother from MIBR upstairs that Team Liquid had to deal with before they could actually do anything else. And it was a bit more of a chaotic round than how we usually see Liquid's outcomes on attacks onto Teller's Archives. Regardless, they still took the win for it, and thanks to those really nice kills from Palu at the end, as MIBR did admittedly try to form some kind of pinch onto the players from Team Liquid, which was probably the right thing to do, or at least it was a perfectly viable consideration. For those 2 kills, secured it for Team Liquid, and they take the lead in this map so far.
10 seconds to insertion.
I wonder what's going to happen next, Joe. Is this where MIBR get the round back and take us off their first defensive phase at an equal 3-3 split?
I'm expecting a 3-3 split at this point because I feel like I've been through so much this weekend and I'm too wise to know anything else.
If there's one thing that we've learned this weekend is that it's going to be a 3-3 split. And we just get to the point where you've just got to be able to sense these sort of things, you know?
Yeah.
You can tell by the way that Moringa's hesitant on his approach into the site there, just waiting for a call out from his team. Sexy Cake maybe trying to find one of those nice early angles he used previously. Jumping up onto that skylight is such a powerful line of sight all the way down the yellow stairs, right all the way to the bottom. It was something that saw a good result for Sexy Cake previously when we saw this site. He was able to take down the Clash, who never fully recovered. This time, Clash not a factor. Instead, Fleapox is going to be playing on the Maestro. Arguably a better choice, a bit more utility, a bit more information at least. Tough angle there that Nesk's found onto the player inside of bathroom. Oh, we can actually see all the way to the hatch. I don't think I've ever seen that angle before.
I'll be honest, I don't think I have either. That's a really nice one. All the teams who are watching this for SI are going to be just making some notes on that one.
Nesk is gutted that his point of view was being captured there. Like, this is gold dust.
Everyone's just wanting to steal this one. No, that's really good, especially as Team Liquid really struggled to put the required pressure onto Bathroom, especially looking back at round number 1. So that's really nice. Great position from Team Liquid. And look at all of the room that Palu and Moringa have. Redux is still in the bathroom, but he's much further back and watching his back too.
It's not enough to stop Redux from playing inside of the bathroom, but he's not able to play it to his full potential, and all it's going to take is quite a soft challenge onto the doorway, and it could be a little bit too much for him to deal with. Palu going to get chunked down by one of Moringa's nades there. The time has just disappeared inside of this round, though, as there's only 35 seconds left remaining. Redux finally going to make his swing, and he swings over onto Palu successfully. He has a chance now to repeat that swing onto Moringa. losing such an important player so early. Fowls is instead going to chime in with a C4 and a kill on the Vector onto Sexy Cake. Nesk down out of... Sorry, Nesk, one of the last players alive. Sorry, picks up the downed diffuser. PSK has to make a big push from the opposite side. Yellow Stairs pressure coming in as if on schedule by Reduct. Leaves PSK with it all to do. The diffuser cold at the front of the white van. Reduct, a massive round from him inside of that bathroom. Despite the new line of sight found by Nesk, MIBR still able to level things up to a 3-3 split.
I think that round could have gone a lot differently had Reduct not been able to get the successful swing out from the bathroom. And I'll be honest, when he got that kill, I was shocked. I didn't expect that to happen. I thought that Team Liquid were controlling too much of the space around the bathroom. So that was really impressive for that to have worked. And I think if it had gone the other way, there would have been way less manpower from MIBR later on to be able to use against Team Liquid. But Ollie, what do you know? It's a 3-3. As you just said, why am I not surprised?
I'm not surprised. I don't think you're surprised. I'd be surprised if anyone is surprised. Nothing separating these two teams as we switch sides. The decider map here inside of our grand finals for the Copa Elite Six. There's a lot at stake between top spot and second spot as well. It's something that we'll go over right about now. First place, 510 6 invitational points. Second place, 390. Now, the difference between second place and third place isn't that many points. The difference is only going to be 330 points for third place, 390 points for second. So a 60-point difference there. Not really a lot at all, considering that you've got to battle your way through. So it really puts a lot of emphasis on winning when you're in that grand final, because it's an extra couple hundred, well, 100 or so points at stake. My brain is fried at this point. I'm not even going to attempt mental arithmetic. I've given you the numbers, and you guys can go and do the math. But big differences in between the points and the way that they are distributed. That's, of course, going off the Liquipedia, so I assume it is correct. But please do not hold me to it. I like this hold from Liquid, investing heavily in the yellow stairs. Something we've seen them do multiple times with the Aruni Gate. 3 ADSs. Sexy Cake already taken down one of the Selmas. I reckon he could stay here all day, Gio.
Mate, MIBR are probably looking at this and they're like, wow, a yellow stairs hold? Ingenious. Why didn't we think of that?
Quick, start the recorder. Let's figure out how they've done it.
And also, it definitely doesn't help that they threw in the Selma to bathroom and Sexy Cake just immediately shot it off the wall. So already that slowed down their attempts. They burned out the ADS, but Sexy Cake can just get out for free. It's not even like he's being supported by a dock like you oftentimes see on that kind of hold. So that's a lot of time burned off.
Interestingly, Sexy Cake's got himself into the bathroom. He's now allowed the Selmas to be detonated, but in doing so, it may give a bit of confidence to MIBR, but no, Lukid had the intel. Sexy Cake tried to pull a fast one there, and, well, he's not only lost the bathroom wall, but he's also lost his life. Reduct is going to be on the skylight angle. Going to cover Lukid as Lukid chooses to repel on in. How many times have we seen this C4, Gio? Once again, Nesk downstairs in piano through the hatch, yeeted on through. We have got so many replay clips of that C4. I'm going to get the guys to make a highlight reel of it. Nesk, he's going to be able to find that C4. Palu, he gets the repelling player. And, well, MIBR are in a 4 versus 2. Going to be a tough ask here for Fowls as he eats a load of Toxic Babe smoke on the repel on in. A desperate attempt there. And a pretty shoddy round from MIBR.
Not the best one for them. And I do think that that initial setup from Team Liquid definitely helped because, you know, MIBR stuck to their plans because they went in with the Selmas again. But you still had Sexy Cake, who was present in the bathroom. You know, once he rotated out of yellow stairs, he went straight into the bathroom. He could cut that off that was happening. The Nesk C4, I mean, just brutal. Team Liquid at no point were really forced into giving up the space that they had control of, or giving up the control over the space that they had control of, right? And MIBR just struggled with that attack. So now they're going to be moving down to, presumably this is the garage, yep, down into garage and cafe. MIBR so far, through everything that we've seen, have been a decently good attacker team. And I don't want to just put it down to that last round and say, oh, well, you know, what if they're really bad on attack for Consulate? Because I don't think it's going to be that cut and dry. But it's still something you have to consider, given the fact that all it takes is for one of these teams to go off on a tear, right? And that's what Team Liquid did when they were against Team 1. We thought that Team 1 were giving them a hard time and making things balanced in Chalet. Team Liquid, suddenly, when it's on match point, step it up and they run away with a bunch of rounds. There's every possibility that they could do that again here. MIBR need to make sure that their attack is up to scratch.
Liquid in the driving seat for the meantime. Past experience is anything to go off, though. This won't be an MIBR round. But they didn't really show us all too much there on that attack. It was not worrying, but it was kind of a bit strange to see them struggle so greatly. But of course, there isn't the power position that can be yellow stairs when set up correctly available every time here for Liquid to use. Instead, a full site, oh sorry, full map clear is going to be required, as the garage is going to be the location. Good old garage and cafeteria. Desk upstairs with a vertical angle onto that double desk. Sorry, that double door. He's also got the windows prepped if he does want to try and jump out. A hatch open to work with as well. Fairly well set up here. Knows that somebody's outside of the door as well, and going to continue to try and keep an eye on that.
I like that he's backing off as well so that he can't necessarily be seen through it, just in case the MIBR player wants to move forward. But right now they are on a drone, so I think Neskid's good that he's playing it patiently, because that's been something that's caught out MIBR players, not Lucid though. He catches Nesk on the rotation, and that's a good place for MIBR to be.
Sledge inside of this piano room is absolutely crucial. It doesn't look as though Lucid is going to be challenged at all. The bathroom is pretty much wide open here, which means that you can get a good line of sight all the way on through. You can start putting the sledgehammer to work. Opening up this floor, figuring out these vertical angles. Of course, we're seeing utility being pinged as well. Raps is going to be able to search out some of those evil eyes. Maybe we're going to see a nade get tossed on in. There is one grenade left here on the side of MIBR, but Fleepox has a little bit of his lifeline left that he's going to choose to deploy down there as well. Fowls is probably getting itchy to try and start getting the plant down, as there are Toxic Babe canisters, and probably still going to be a couple of Toxic Babe canisters in the hands of Sexy Kate. 20 seconds ticks on by. Another Toxic Babe does go out, and it's probably going to be the undoing of Fowls here. He manages to find some safety, but not for long. PSK goes huge. Gets a snappy double kill. Palu chimes in as well with one onto Fleepox. Reduct left in the 1 versus 3. He's got 6 seconds to do this in. The default camera is still going to be up. Any kill at this point will be impactless. As much as Team Liquid seem to be stacking up there, a collateral headshot to go through all 3 of them would have been a little bit of a step too far. Liquid, they're going to take a bit more of a lead here on Consulate.
Hey, I said, Ollie, is this going to be where Team Liquid start to tear things away? They're only 1 round away from match point. Could it be?
Potentially. We've not actually seen Liquid fight from ahead yet, really, have we?
Not against MIBR.
No.
It seems that, you know, if the pattern is to be followed from what we got from the semi-final in which Team Liquid played Team 1, Team Liquid will turn it on when it's needed to be done, and that's towards the end, right? It's not that they're not playing their best. It's not that they're not, you know, trying earlier on. It's like something just switches at a certain point within this team where they're like, no, this is where we need to tear away because we're too close for comfort. We need to win. We need those SI points. We need to get that glory of being the best team in Latin America. We can't keep having this backwards and forwards. Because that's what happened against Team 1 in a game where it looked entirely possible and likely at times that Team 1 were actually going to take that game. Until Team Liquid just pulled away at the very end. And I'm genuinely wondering if they can do that here against MIBR.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Palu gets away. Pretty much scot-free there as a Limpact grenade just grazes him ever so slightly. Nothing at all to worry about. Certainly not going to slow down Liquid inside of this round. One round away from a match and series point here. And you just get the impression that they've stepped it up over the course of the last couple of rounds. Since getting themselves onto the defense, we've seen a bit of a new Liquid here on Consulate. Now with the series point in such close sight, we've already seen what they're able to do when they're fighting from behind, but what are they able to do when they are, you know, trying to pull ahead? That's a dangerous prospect for a team that's this talented. MIBR really need to book their ideas up here. And that's kind of demonstrated in the way that this round's playing out. Much slower than we've seen rounds play previously. MIBR really taking the time to leave no stone unturned on that roam clear of the top floor.
Why is Palu getting so aggressive?
Oh no, this is a disaster.
Yeah, he's just given away everything. He sends out the C4, but the MIBR player can literally just back off. That was playing with fire a little bit too much for my liking.
Like, Palu's still panicked, like he's prone for no real reason, but it's not going to matter because his team is backing him up. Moringa and Sexy Cake. They're going to find a couple of kills between them. Fouls, trades out there. Reduct as well. An equal 3 versus 3. Leapox has an angle that he's working with. He knows that there's going to be a player upstairs. That player is Sexy Cake. They do manage to take down Reduct. Leapox now turns his attention over towards Palu's location. As Falls decides maybe it's time for a drop. We need to try and get a plant down here. We need to press any advantage that we may have. Ooh, Leapox with a nice kill there onto Palu. Unfortunate timing really for Palu, but I think we've seen it really hasn't been his round there. Nesk could be a huge factor here. He drops down into sight. Falls is trying to get that plant down. There's some confusion there with one of the Selmas going off above, but it's not going to put Nesk off. The diffuser will go down. Nesk had a chance and a foot shot there, but Foul swings after getting the plant down. He's able to take down Nesk. Sexy Cake, he's fighting the reverse mirror. Philippox comes in with the frag. MIBR, they keep Liquid off a match point for another round.
Oh, man. Yeah, that one was really... There were a lot of uncomfortable points in that round. You know, the whole Palu running out on the mirror thing. He uses one of his C4s, which especially on the split site is going to be an incredibly important piece of utility. Then, you know, obviously MIBR moved down into the basement to make their plant. Nesk has to try and jump down. He's in a 1 versus 2 situation. He narrowly sees the feet of one of those players, gets taken straight out, and then that whole dancing around the mirror at the end, but you're in the reverse mirror, as you say, you can't see through it, you are basically at the mercy of the person against whom you're playing. Messy from Team Liquid. But heading back up to CEO, you know, this was a site that they held very definitively back in round number 7. Especially with the way that they held onto yellow stairs. Now, MIBR could very easily read into that, make a change, make a different approach, because their approach against that setup didn't work last time. The way they tried to breach onto the bathroom, they couldn't clear Sexy Cake out from either yellow stairs or bathroom, regardless of where he was. It was just very difficult for them, and the whole thing was just a complete mess, to be perfectly honest, from that perspective. But a lot of the roles have been changed this time round. You know, Sexy Cake, he's not playing Jaeger this time. Instead, he's playing Echo. Now, I wonder if they're going to place a Yokai drone very similarly to what we saw earlier on in the MIBR Ninjas in Pajamas game, where that was present at the top of the yellow stairs and meant a push up was very difficult, or any presence for attacker was very difficult. And it's also going to be PSK who will be actually taking on the Jaeger role himself.
That round felt like a huge swing for MIBR. It was a big clutch for them to be able to pull out as well from a man disadvantage. Definitely some snappy kills there being thrown down in the final few seconds. Foul's just such a consistent fragger on the side of MIBR. Keeps them in this thing. All it's going to take is one round from MIBR to level up to an equal 5-5. They'll be attacking upstairs. It's a site we've previously seen them have a little bit of trouble with, but this time at least they're going for a slightly alternate push, investing pretty heavily in the admin side of things. Really giving up the yellow stairs hold. Or yellow stairs push, should I say. Which is kind of weird because it was a large portion of their focus last time, but it wasn't something that was that effective for them. Reduct getting his air jabs out there into the bottom of those service stairs. As the wall will start to be opened up now.
Palu's on quite a wide roam, but satisfied that there's no one downstairs, so he'll move to the middle, where Nesk also is. Giving him the opportunity to drone, because of course he's playing Mozzie, so he will have taken at least one of those drones off of the attacker side. And this is that coveted meeting wall being opened up. That's going to put pressure on PSK. In the meantime, Palu gets a nice kill onto Reduct.
Getting close to pinch time here. That deployable shield is going to disappear. That was kind of PSK's only level of safety inside of the site. Left now wondering if a pre-fire is going to be enough. We can see a yokai drones being moved into position now as well by Sexy Kate. What about that for a grenade directly onto PSK?
Nesk!
Kills flood in for Liquid, and they're going to continue to do so. Nesk and Palu getting all of the frags there. There was a Claymore, I think, that popped off as well, but just not enough from the side of the attackers. That yokai drone that was moved in from Sexy Cake gave so much information there for Team Liquid, and all of that combined is enough to put them on match and series point here inside of the Copa Elite Six Grand Finals.
Yeah, the decision to go onto the Echo was definitely the right one. And you know what? We'll even write off the Claymore kill onto Nesk because he got 2 fantastic kills in the lead up to that. So you win some, you lose some. And in the case of Team Liquid, they won that round and may be just about to win the grand finals here of the Copa Elite Six, take those SI points, and know that they are, at least for now, the best team in Latin America. If MIBR want to do that for themselves, they will have to take this game all the way through overtime. It's going to be a Garage Cafe defense. Team Liquid have defended this once so far in round number 8, and it went their way. What are MIBR going to do to ensure that the same thing does not happen again?
Ooh, it's getting down to that crunch time, isn't it, Gio? I start to feel it at this point for the team that's against the match point as well. And, like, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that I feel what the player feels, because I've never and will never be in this position. But I get that level of, like, small amount of nice anxiety, if there is such a thing, in terms of, like, this could be it. Like, this is now time to sort of step things up, and
well, that's being a sports fan or an esports fan at all, isn't it?
It's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting.
And it's bad because I've got to try and keep a lid on it to be, you know, nice and impartial, but I always want the losing team to win. And I think that's just because I want to watch more Siege. So in this instance, we've got to be giving a shout out to MIBR, but they're going to go for a hot drop. They get themselves straight in. They lose. Lukid. That's a massive loss. Moringa picks up that frag. Are they rushing this round? Please tell me that they're not rushing this round. Felipox, he's now going to be aggressing on into Archives as well. Does find the frag over onto Nest. Reduct as well, coming in to join the fray. It's a 3 versus 4 here in favor of MIBR. I can hear smoke grenades getting tossed out as well. No smoke on the side of the defenders tells me that that could be fouls. He could be trying to get himself into a position to plant. Sexy Kate playing vertically. An explosive first minute, Gio.
MIBR now have some time to take stock, move into the next phase of the attack. That's a beautiful couple of kills coming out from Reduct. Palu shuts him down, but he's the only player left, Ollie.
This isn't looking great for Team Liquid. They're probably not going to convert this round as Palu's going to have to go massive. Felipox knows exactly where he's coming from. MIBR step up in a big way. S1, it's one move, isn't it? Go for a bit of a rush round when the match point is against you. But for MIBR, there in round number 11, it worked out for them. Still a match point here for Liquid, but could we see the 6-6? Could we see that overtime yet again? MIBR there, hanging on in there. Liquid, they don't fancy another shot down at Garage. They're going to take us to the split site, Archive and Tellers.
I'm going to go back to being Coach Gio. Team Liquid, in order to win this round, please do not have Palu run out on Mirror.
Yeah, it'd help.
Thanks,
that,
that's
it.
Yeah, I think so. Because, you know, the way that MIBR made their way into the basement before, they shouldn't have even been allowed to get there in the first place.
I mean, Palu also lost his C4 when he did that as well. And I think
Yeah.
when we just saw him lay prone next to the hatch underneath the default camera downstairs in Visas, it was very like... He looked like he was like a kid getting told off. Like, just trying to hide in the corner for a moment. Just stand in the corner. Like, you've ran out, you've wasted your C4, you've nearly thrown the whole round. Just stand in that corner. I don't want to look at you for a minute. And, like, you kind of get that impression from his playstyle after that fact, right? Because he knew he'd messed up. Like, and that's not the reason why they lost the round. The round was won because of a great clutch from MIBR, but it was all of that in the run-up to it and the fact that there was no C4 then available on the side of Palu, and his position was, you know, much more known after that little bit of a run-out. So yeah, I think Liquid maybe going to try and play this one a little bit closer to their chest.
MIBR want to drone out that top floor. Despite the fact that this is an Archives Teller's point, there has been a lot of top floor play when visiting it. And there are two players, I think, from Team Liquid who are up there. They're going to need clearing out by MIBR before they can really make any moves into the site itself. There was a C4 that went off in the windowsill. It won't actually catch any of the players of MIBR out.
I think it did something to get rid of a drone, but it's quite an expensive piece of utility to only be taking one drone away. And MIBR have been quite good with the drones so far. Still got 7 out there working hard for them. Admin control. It's been a lot less heavily contested this time by Liquid. It seems as though MIBR have just been able to walk on in. But Liquid do have a lot of intel. Got those evil eye cameras inside of Tellers, and that's going to tell quite a big picture for them.
MIBR have their space upstairs, but look at Moringa ready with a C4 down on the site. Probably ready for someone to walk over him, but actually mistimes it and miscalculates the position of the attackers. Lucid's being very careful here, and Sexy Cake gets caught out in an air jab. Nearly loses a decent chunk of damage, but he'll be walking away with about 75 still. Knowing that there are the players present in admin, he's going to drop straight down and join the rest of his team.
Probably quite wise for Team Liquid to make this move now and to further drop off. Ness can't decide, though. He kind of wants to play this halfway point on the spiral stairs. So with only 35 seconds or so left, it's time for MIBR to make their play. Sexy Cake hiding inside of the smoke as well. Moringa still hasn't been rooted out of sight. Sexy Cake finds one before being traded. Moringa could go massive here with the shotgun, you know. It's going to shred at such close range. A nade comes through, but Fowls is there able to get the trade. And a second from Felipox. Time continuing to tick before Palu steps on up. The diffuser cold on the ground. Unlikely to be recovered here with only 10 seconds left to go, and a vertical angle onto it, but no, Lucid is able to pick it up. Baits for a time before trying to find some safety. Reduct pushing himself down the stairs. Palu's on for a triple. Palu, can you make it? The quad. Oh no, he comes off the plant. Team Liquid, they have done it. They are the winners here inside of the Copa Elite Six.
Wow, that was one of the closest rounds that we could have finished everything out on. It felt like every few tens of seconds, the momentum shifted between these two teams. I don't think that you could have had a closer game for a grand finals here in the Copa Elite Six. And despite the fact that MIBR don't walk away with the victory, they should absolutely be feeling good about themselves. SI points to everybody, but mostly to Team Liquid, and they get to call themselves the best team in Latin America.
They certainly do. Paolo with a massive performance there. I think, was it 19-5 he went in the end?
Oh, I get that every day.
Big shout out to Paolo there for that performance, especially inside of that last round. But Team Liquid as a whole, they are going to be our champions here inside of the Copa Elite Six. 62,500.